So it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and I turned 24, and I still feel like I'm 21. I mean, it's just like with COVID the last 3 years. I mean, you probably cannot relate. It's been a wild last 3 years. And honestly, it made me come to a couple of realizations. None of us know anything. Like, truly, just because I'm older, like it doesn't mean that I'm like smarter. Like I mean, I know plenty of people who are younger than me. I mean, I'll take one of my friends. His name is Ivan, and he knows so much for his age. That dude is so goddamn wise. It's just proof that there are a lot of people who are younger than you and they know way more than you, and vice versa. There's a lot of older people who are kind of stupid and don't know shit. But that's just how life is. We're all born with different circumstances, different everything, right? What I'm trying to point out here is age really isn't important when it comes to these, like, just wisdom in general. What I want to highlight here is when you meet somebody, don't look at their age first. Because every time you meet someone new, it's like learning a whole new world. I love that concept really because it just makes you more interested in people. It makes you want to talk to them and ask them questions about their life and just learn about them. I mean, this is a bit much for this topic, but that's something that's kind of crossed my mind. I mean, I guess this video is just me talking about how I'm 24 now and I've learned so much. But I think that's one of those things where when you meet new people, remember that this is like a whole new universe that you're meeting. Someone will always be more superior than you in something, and you should always look at that as like a learning opportunity, right? Let's say you meet somebody new and like you think they're kind of dumb, like the way they act, you know, we all know someone like that where you just look at them and like, okay, this guy is like, the hell's going on, right? But he knows something. Let's say he's really good at YouTube though. He knows how to capture an audience. He knows how to get people's attention. He is way better than you at that. What are you going to do? Are you still going to think he's like a dumbass? Okay, well, maybe, but he still has something that you can learn. And that's just something I really want to point out is there's always something to learn from everyone you meet. But yeah, it goes both ways, you know, like older people and younger people. You just don't expect the younger people to be wiser than you, but you would be surprised. All right, and then the next thing I want to talk about is, I just have my notes over here, is I want to talk about a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. Now, this is something I still struggle with every day because it's really easy to just look at something with a fixed mindset because it's like default behavior for a lot of people now. I really don't think it's good. I don't like that. You know, it's kind of been instilled at us like a fixed mindset, but growth mindset is so important. And as you get older, this is where I think it even becomes more important. I mean, it's always important, but it's so easy that once you finish your formal education, that you stop learning, and then like once you stop learning, your mindset just kind of gets messed up. Water time. Growing older and finishing school doesn't mean that you're done learning. It doesn't mean that I'm done learning. In fact, I've learned more since leaving school that I've probably learned in my entire university degree combined. I mean, yeah, like my degree taught me how to program, but I mean, I could have learned that somewhere else in a couple months, right? But one thing it didn't teach me is it didn't teach me about how the real world works. School is like this little box that you're put in. And then outside of this box, which is everything, that's the real world. Like, how are you supposed to learn how to live when you're stuck in this little box? And it's kind of like your mindset. How are you supposed to get anything done and learn anything new when your thinking is in this box? Why your thinking shouldn't be limited to a little box, because, well, then you kind of become closed-minded and you become a simpleton. I don't know how else to put that. But learning new things is what keeps life fresh. It makes life worth living. It makes life more fun. Don't stop learning once you finish school. If anything, I think that's the opportunity to learn exactly what you want to learn. You want to learn how to shoot with cool cameras like this? Like, I just bought this camera. I don't know shit about it, but it's so much fun to use, and it's what I'm interested in right now. And just go and do it. Just go and learn some new shit. You have the internet. We're so privileged today. We have literally all the information we could possibly want with one search away. I mean, now I sound like a boomer, but bro, all the technology you need is right there. Yeah, and again, I'm still learning new things every day. I don't know shit, bro. I'm 24 and I feel like a dumbass. That's fine. That's good. That means I don't know things, which means I get to learn new things. That's amazing. Once you stop learning, you sort of die internally. Think of someone who's been doing the same job every day for maybe 40 years or so, so most of their life, and they're kind of like a hollow shell of a person, especially if they haven't learned anything new in their job. Like they are actually doing the same thing every day, because there's people out there who do that. Even if their physical body is still hanging on, their mental state, it left decades ago. That is it. That is scary. That is so scary to think that your physical body could live, but your mental is completely gone because you didn't expand it. You didn't learn new things. That is scary. And then the next section I want to talk about is just things that I've learned, because I mean, I can just talk about, life and, turning 24 and all that. And, but I mean, I want to talk about some of the things that I've learned, because maybe I could pass this on to you. Maybe you're younger than me and this might be good advice for you, or maybe you're older than me and this is still good advice. But the first thing I want to talk about is trying to be productive 24/7. It's not worth it. It's so not worth it. I made a video on this actually called "You Don't Have to Be Productive 24/7." I'll link it down below, but you have to make space for fun activities that rejuvenate you too. Like, I can't just sit here and work on YouTube videos all day. I mean, as much as making YouTube videos is fun, it's not what I should be doing all the time. It's not good for you. And no, I'm not talking about like video games or just, pointless activities. I'm talking about hanging out with friends or traveling or just trying something new that puts you slightly outside of your comfort zone. Those activities, I know they might sound draining, but when you finish them, you feel great. You feel amazing doing them. I'll think about a few things I did where I was so nervous going into it, but at the end of it, it's amazing. It's so good. I know I'm saying it's amazing so many times, but I just think that it's something we should all take time to spend time doing. It's novel things that keep us alive, and like I said, again, it's what keeps us feeling alive. It's so easy to just go through and grind through the monotonous days and of everyday life, right? It's when you're doing the same thing every day, it's so easy to just forget that life really is beautiful. Like, I went for a walk the other day and it was the most beautiful thing I've seen in a while. It was right after a huge rainstorm, and I was walking through a ravine. It was so fresh, the smell, the view, the sky was orange from the sunset. It was, yeah, I don't know. You gotta just do it for yourself and you'll understand. And then the next thing is trying to grind alone. It sucks ass. Don't try and grind alone. You will hate yourself. You don't want to do it. As humans, we're just not wired to be alone. We crave relationships with other human beings. We crave seeing people. Even if you're an introvert, like I'm pretty introverted myself, but I've noticed lately that like when I spend too much time alone, my mental starts slipping. I have all this free time, so what do? Well, it's easy to revert back to old habits, bad habits. I'm guilty of this. I waste a lot of time on YouTube. If you look at my screen time, it's not good. I can spend somewhere 2 to 3 hours on YouTube, and maybe it doesn't seem like much to you, but to me, that's a lot of wasted time. It's like what I used to waste on video games is where I waste on YouTube. And I think I want to make another video about this whole topic of wasting time on YouTube, because it's something I'm really familiar with. And I think I'll say that for another video though. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad to be alone. In fact, I think it's actually good that we spend time with ourselves to just reflect and, introspect, do some introspective work. It's so easy to lose yourself in this modern world where you feel like you got to put a mask on all the time. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you're alone, there's no one there, you feel like you can just be yourself. But then as soon as you're with somebody, you're almost like kind of putting on like a little mask. Like you're never truly yourself around people. And I think it's good to just express yourself and try and be your most authentic self. So when you're by yourself, then you can kind of practice it. And then when you're with other people, like me on camera, like I'm trying to just be myself. Like even then, maybe I'm putting on like a front or something that I'm not fully aware of, but the more introspective work I do, it kind of comes to the surface. This is kind of relating more to meditation. Uh, but yeah, meditate. It's so good for you. But of course, you got to balance this, right? I mean, you spend too much time alone, you kind of go crazy. And yeah, I don't recommend that. Don't recommend that at all. And this is where having a good group of friends is so great. Like I'm talking about friends who are willing to grow with you, friends who inspire you, and you inspire them, and you guys are constantly leveling up every day. Like I'll take my friend Yvonne. I love being friends with that guy because like every time we talk, it's like I feel like I'm improving as a person. Like I'm gonna link his channel down below, bro. If you're watching this, you've changed my life, and I'm hoping I can do the same for you. But basically, ever since we started having like forming this brotherhood where we just encourage each other to do better, probably the best kind of friendships you can have in your life. And hey, maybe join my Discord server. Might be able to find yourself a friend like that too. Look at the blur when I get so close. Holy. Anyways, if you have friends who are constantly trying to improve, keep those friends around forever. Those are going to be the ones you're going to want when you're growing because, well, first of all, good luck growing when you have a bunch of friends who don't want to do shit, right? I mean, it's really hard to grow when you're surrounded by people who are like crabs in a bucket and they just keep pulling you down. You've probably heard that expression, right? If you are trying to get out of that bucket and you got all these crabs like pinching you and pulling you down, you're never getting anywhere. You got to start with who you surround yourself with. I think, maybe not start with, but I think that is something that anybody on self-improvement can probably relate to, is you're going to have that tough choice where you're wondering who to keep in your life. And that's just kind of like another, it's like mini lesson is, it's good to constantly try and find new people, but don't cut everybody out. I am still friends with some friends. I mean, they might be watching this video. If so, thanks for watching this far. You guys are great. I don't think you should cut all those friends out because, well, they kind of help shape where you are. Like not in like a bad way, but it's just, I just don't think you should cut everybody out because then you become lonely. You don't. I just spent the whole point talking about how important it is to have valuable and like friendships and relationships in your life. I can't talk right now. Holy, but I'm telling you, it's worth keeping around. And anyways, before I ramble on this point, I want to talk about is my value to you. Now, this is something I've just been kind of realizing when I had my little break on YouTube way back. I think it was around February. I was going really hard in December and January, but then came February, I kind of stopped for a bit. And I realized that my value as a content creator to you, the viewer, is entirely based on my experience, especially the kind of content I want to make. My experiences are pretty much the value I bring to you, right? Like not knowing what to post or what ideas I think are good. I mean, that's kind of like a good indication that I need to get out there and be more uncomfortable. I made a video called Why I Try to Be Uncomfortable Every Single Day, and lately I haven't really been good at that, but that is what makes good content. That's what gives me good ideas. I can turn those ideas into content and value for you. And I think it's anybody who's watching this who wants to be a YouTuber, I think you should take that lesson away too. It's good to get out there and just form new experiences because it's great content. Me as like a lifestyle / self-improvement / whatever the hell you want to call me, my ideas are only as good as my life experience. And it just got me thinking, like, I need to experience more life if I want to bring more value to you. Like, imagine try to come up with great ideas when you're trapped in a room all day and you're just not doing anything, or you're not doing anything that you want to do. It's really hard. Like, creativity is formed from experience, at least in my experience. And when I'm not doing much, then even my creativity for these videos goes down. I feel like I'm not delivering the fullest value. And then, I mean, if I'm not giving you value, then why would you subscribe, right? And that's why I'm hoping this video gives you value. Subscribe, damn it. When you spend all your years, like your developing years playing video games, and it kind of stunts your creativity. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say stunts because like it's not like it's permanently like messed up. I think it slows you down. Definitely slows you down. After some more life experience, you kind of get that back So hey, if you played lots of video games as a kid, don't worry. You're not screwed. You got a little more work to do. That's fine. It's totally fine. But yeah, that was pretty much me. I was that kid who just played video games from sunrise to sunset. I did nothing most of my days. I would spend like 8+ hours playing games, and like that's fine. Well, no, it's not fine, but it also is okay because all of my experiences in life have led me up to this moment, me turning 24 a couple weeks ago. It's it's all led up to this. Like I think it's good not to regret where your past has taken you, because if you're in a good spot right now, or at least a decent spot, remember that everything led up to this. And like I know that sounds kind of like deep, but it's true though. So I hope you, the viewer, got something out of this video, because I'm offering you something in exchange for your attention, and I really appreciate that. And that's amazing. That's crazy that I can hold your attention for this long. Oh, and stretch. That is something that I think is super important. As you get older, you don't think about it, but you do tighten up quite a bit, especially if you sit in a chair all day. I mean, I'm a software developer. What do you think we do? We sit, even if you got a standing desk, it's it's not the greatest. Like, you're still sitting and like being in the same posture for a long time, which tightens you up. So yeah, that shit will catch up if you don't. I used to do yoga at least once a week. Now I'm kind of doing yoga once a month because I'm trying to focus more on weight training, and I kind of neglected stretching and cardio, which, I mean, to be honest, that's something I've been kind of working on, is weight training only and doing nothing. It's not good. You want to balance your life out, at least your fitness levels, because yeah, you will notice it if you don't start stretching. So stretch, that shit is great. Just do like 10 minutes a day. You're gonna love yourself when you stretch. And I think that's all I got for you now. I mean, this video is gonna go on for a long time, but I just wanted to kind of sit down and talk to you guys like this. I mean, also I got to try out this new microphone, new camera. Like, look at the blur on this. If I get really close, look at that bokeh. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this shit. Can't wait to make some higher quality videos coming out with this new camera, get some new lenses and new microphones coming in too. And man, I'm excited for the future of YouTube, and I hope you guys join me there too. Love y'all. Take care. I don't know what to say. Wait, what do I usually say?